am ready to get right in the Word this morning. I hope you are as well. I started this morning with a podcast that I was listening to that was very helpful spiritually, and I just loved how God gives us so many opportunities today to or avenues, I should even say, that we can continue our journey in our faith. So this morning we're in Judges chapter 8, and if you have your Bibles, you can go ahead and join me. Before we do, ask the Lord to open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. Judges chapter 8. And the men of Ephraim said unto him, Why hast thou served us thus, that thou calledst not when thou wentest to fight with the Midianites? And they did chide with him sharply. And he said unto them, What have I done now in comparison of you? Is not the gleaning of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of Abiezer? God hath delivered into your hands the princes of Midian, Oreb and Zeb, and what was I able to do in comparison of you? Then their anger was abated toward him when he said that. And Gideon came to Jordan, and passed over, he and the 300 men that were with him, faint yet pursuing them. And he said unto them, The men of Succoth, give, I pray you, loaves of bread unto the people that follow me, for they be faint, and I am pursuing after Zebah and Zalmunna, kings of Midian. And the princes of Succoth said, Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in thine hand, that we should give bread into thine army? And Gideon said, Therefore, when the Lord hath delivered Zebah and Zalmunna into mine hand, that I will tear your flesh with the thorns of the wilderness and with briars. And he went up thence to Peniel, and spake unto them likewise. And the men of Peniel answered, as the men of Succoth had answered him. And he spake also unto the men of Peniel, saying, When I come again in peace, I will break down this tower. Now Zebah and Zalmunna were in Chachor, and their hosts with them, about 15,000 men, all that were left of the host of the children of the east, for there fell 120,000 men that drew sword. And Gideon went up by the way of them that dwelt in the tents of the east of Nobah, Jogbehah, and smote the host, for the host was secure. And then Zebah and Zalmunna fled. He pursued after them, and took the 2 kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and discomfited all the host. And Gideon the son of Joash returned from battle before the sun was up, and caught a young man of the men of Succoth, inquired of him, and he described unto him the princes of Succoth and the elders thereof, even 17 men. And he came unto the men of Succoth, and said, Behold, Zebah and Zalmunna, with whom you did upbraid me, saying, Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in thine hand, that we should give bread unto thy men that are weary? And he took the elders of the city and the thorns of the wilderness and briars, and with them he taught the men of Succoth. And he beat down the tower of Peniel, and slew the men and of the city. Verse 18 of chapter 8 of Judges. Then said unto Zebah and Zalmunna, What manner of men were they whom ye slew at Tabor? And they answered, As thou art, so who are they? Each one resembled the children of king. And he said, They were my brethren, even the sons of my mother. As the Lord liveth, if ye have saved them alive, I would not slay you. And he sent unto Jether his firstborn, Up and slay them. But the youth drew not his sword, for he feared, because he was yet a youth. The Zebah and Zalmunna said, Rise thou and fall upon us, for as the man is, so is his strength. And Gideon arose and slew Zebah and Zalmunna, and took away the ornaments that were on their camels' necks. Then the men of Israel said unto Gideon, Rule thou over us, both thou and thy son's son also, for thou hast delivered us from the hand of Midian. And Gideon said unto them, I will not rule over you, neither shall my son rule over you, the Lord shall rule over you. And Gideon said unto them, I would desire a request of you, that you would give me every man the earrings of his prey, for they had golden earrings, because they were Ishmaelites. And they answered, We will willingly give them. And they spread a garment, and did cast therein every man the earrings of his prey. And the weight of the golden earrings that he requested was 1,700 shekels of gold, beside ornaments and collars and purple raiment that was on the kings of Midian, and beside the chains that were about the camels' necks. And Gideon made an ephod thereof, and put in a city, even in Orpha, and all Israel went thither, whoring after it, which thing became a snare unto Gideon and to his house. Thus was Midian subdued before the children of Israel, so that they lifted up their heads no more, and the country was in quietness 40 years in the days of Gideon. And Jeroboam the son of Joash went and dwelt in his own house, and Gideon had 70 sons of his body begotten, for he had more wives. Or excuse me, had many wives. And his concubine that was of Shechem, she also bare him a son, whose name he called Abimelech. And Gideon the son of Joash died in a good old age, and was buried in the sepulchre of Joash's father in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And came to pass, as soon as Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel turned again and went a whoring after Balaam, and made Baal-berith their god. And the children of Israel remembered not the Lord their God, who hath delivered them out of the hands of all their enemies on every side, neither showed that kindness to the house of Jeroboam, namely Gideon, according to all the goodness which he had showed unto Israel. So we see that the tribe of Ephraim, like many Christians today, have their feelings hurt. They want to be part of the spoiling of the Midianites and are upset with Gideon for not calling them to battle. And Gideon doesn't even bother trying to explain to them that God told him to send most of his people home. Gideon does the right thing and gives what kind of answer? It's a soft answer. He doesn't come back biting or harsh with them. And then Gideon and his men were faint yet pursuing, and sometimes serving the Lord requires sacrifice even when you're tired. They would have made him king, yet he refused, and he said that the Lord shall rule over you. And we'll read in Psalm 139. Psalm 139, O Lord, thou hast searched me and know me. Thou knowest my downsitting and mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar. Okay, if you hung in there, we're still here. I'm sorry. That was weird, but I'm definitely having a problem with live, unfortunately, and there was an interruption. But anyways, we're finishing Psalm 139 and we'll be done for today. So let's go on. Well, O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my downsitting and mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain unto it. Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. I take the wings of the morning, and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea. Even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee, when I was made a secret, and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. And in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, as when as yet they were none of them. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me! O God, how great is the sum of them! I should count them. They are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with thee. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked. O God, depart from me, therefore, you bloody men, for they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee, and I am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee. I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them then my enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And if I see, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. Our memory verse is Exodus 15:13. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto thy holy habitation. And I will see you tomorrow. Please forgive me again for that interruption on YouTube. Anyways, maybe tomorrow will be better.